Greetings, YouTube. When I built my walk buckler recently, to which I have added some padding to make it a little more comfortable when you hold it, I just took a piece of yoga mat that my wife has so generously donated to my project pile and just duct taped it in place. Makes it a little more comfortable. When I made this, I ended up with a walk handle. The walk handle had this really long eye bolt, a couple of washers, the wooden handle, and this collar, which originally had been here to hide the connection between the handle and the walk itself. I have all the other pieces that I took from the walk, the handle and the supports and all those things. I saved those just in case I can use them. So I thought, what can I do with this? What I want to try doing with it is making a post-apocalyptic stiletto. Make a weapon that is designed to be held in the hand and just used for thrusting. So, to wit, I'm going to take this large eye bolt, and I'm going to take one of these. I'll take one that's not hold something in place. I'm going to put it there, and I'm going to put this threaded rod on the other side, and I'm going to use a washer, or rather another nut, to lock everything in place. Now, I would have much preferred longer ones of these. These are 5/16, 18 thread. I would like to have preferred one that was twice this length, but this is all they had and I didn't want to have to special order it, so I'm going to see how this works, and if I don't like the strength it provides, I'll see if I can buy one online. Got a number of them online. I'm probably going to, probably not going to just buy one for future projects, and I should actually probably figure out what the threaded rod I picked up recently, what size those are, because I have some project ideas for that as well. Came up with a really cool new idea at work yesterday. I was really pleased with myself because I worked out all the details in a couple of hours, and I think it's going to make a nice project. But that will provide me that connection, and I got to be honest, there's a lot of commercial knives that have that much connection, which is kind of sad. And this is hopefully not going to be under a lot of lateral stress, because this is supposed to be going straight in and straight out. Now this is a 12-inch threaded rod. I'm going to grind a point on the end, obviously, and I don't know how long I'm going to want this yet. So my first thing is just going to do a fast and dirty dry run just to get a feel of how long this is going to be. And when I get to, I think if I'm happy with it this length, I may leave it. If I'm not, I can always cut it off. The only other thing I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to open up this so that it will accept one of the washers. So I need to go, this is 3/4 of an inch in diameter. So I'm going to see if I can open up this 3/4 of an inch. Obviously that's going to interfere with this, so I may have to grind off the washer, because I think if I do it, can I balance this on one hand? I can't balance this because I don't know if I like just that connection. No, it does have enough support, I guess. So maybe I won't use the washer on this end. Maybe I'll just open up the hole a little bit, because I need to do that regardless. I need to expose some more of the threads, because at the moment the thing only exposes about that much of the thread because of the wooden handle. So I need to open it up so I can get it a little further, so I can get one of those couplers on there to the point where I want it. So I'm going to play with that and see how it works. I'm going to do a quick and dirty construction right now, just to do a dry fit assembly and see if I like the length of the rod. Okay, 60 seconds later, and I've discovered two things. One, I actually don't have to drill that out, which is great. I'm going to have to be able to skip a step. That's awesome, because drilling out an existing hole in wood with having a drill press and stuff is somewhat problematic. So that's cool. And I also discovered I think the thing's too darn long. So I'm going to cut it off. It's 12 inches long. I think I'm going to take off 3 inches, giving me a 9-inch blade. Yeah, that'll work. Give me a 9-inch blade. So I'll mark this and I'll take that off out on the porch, because I'm going to have to use my cut-off blade on my angle grinder, which is going to make a big mess. Don't want to be doing that inside. Not only going to scare my cats witless, but I don't think my wife would be too happy with me. So here we are out on the porch. I've got this set up with my vise, with my clamp rather, and there is my angle grinder with the cutoff wheel installed. I actually got a thicker one recently for another project, so hopefully I won't need that washer on the second one. But if I do, I still have the washer to use, and that'll be nice. People might remember that I had to use a washer on that to hold this thin blade in place, because I'm kind of using a Milwaukee brand nut and assembly on a Ryobi tool, so there's not perfect compatibility. So next up is just gonna cut that off. Now I have my trusty flap wheel. I don't know where I'd be without my flap wheel. And since I'm working outside already and I have all my gear set up, I'm going to touch this crowbar, which I've purchased for my wife's trunk. Having a crowbar in the car I think is really handy. And this thing has a tip that needs a little TLC. So I'm going to square it up a little, take off that burr, just make it look nicer. And I'll probably do the other end as well. I don't care about the finish on it. It's just going to be thrown in her trunk. You know, if it gets moisture from the cold or something, I don't care. I picked it up for, I think, $1 at a flea market or something. Or a yard sale. So but I'm going to have a lot of investment in this. But it's a very handy tool, and push comes to shove, makes a decent improvised weapon. Okay, me being me, I tried to actually even this thing out. And I did a much better job than it was there originally. That it was not very even when I started. But it's much better. It was a very, very cheap crowbar to begin with. Like I said, I paid $1 for it. This end it's not too bad. It's not too bad at all. And in the emergency, this is definitely going to be a tool that you can use in a pinch. I mean, I wouldn't want to be pulling a whole lot of nails with this thing, but as a tool in your trunk to get yourself out of a fix, I said this is pretty much going to do the job. And it's in much better shape than it was 10 minutes ago. So there we go, folks. One stiletto. The point isn't perfectly square, but it's darn close, and it is very pointy. This, when I drop it straight down on my porch, it sticks in quite nicely into the wood. I use this as help hide the fixtures in here, you know, the fasteners. So it doesn't hide all of it, but it hides quite a bit of it. And I didn't have to drill any of the wood, so that was cool. I used one washer here. The other washer is still there. I'll find a use for it. Pardon me for the sniffle. I've been outside. This is taking me a lot longer than I thought it was going to, because I did other projects while we were out there. Just kind of threw it all together. When I do a setup with my grinder and such, it makes sense to kind of group things together. So I've been outside with that grinder for like 2 hours. This was the shortest piece of that process, but it came out quite nice, I think. And it's definitely an unusual device. It definitely has that stiletto vibe. It doesn't have a guard like a stiletto does, but it's long and pointy, and it's got no edge. It's just for thrusting, and I think it makes a nice accompaniment to my walk buckler. So this would be a good backup weapon. Obviously, this is not going to be your main weapon. It's going to be something you use in a pinch, or if you're doing a very specific thing like sneaking up on someone. But yeah, this is designed for deep wound channels that are going to be very nasty, because this has got threads on it, but it's not going to be able to slash at all. And this fastener here is decent for thrusting, but I wouldn't want to put this under any kind of lateral stress. I don't know how well that would handle that kind of force. So now I'm going to take it outside, take a few pictures so I can post this on my DeviantArt page. But I think it came out pretty well, and I'm quite happy with it. And it's got a nice handy hook here, because I'm going to have to hang this in the garage, because I don't think my wife's going to want it in the house. She isn't really fond of the big pointy things. I can understand that. So I also discovered not to treat these gloves like they're made out of leather, because I discovered that they aren't when I picked up very hot things and melted the fingertips a little bit. Fortunately, did not melt this stuff to me, because that would have been bad. So there you go, folks. This is kind of a post-apocalyptic stiletto, or a walk handle stiletto. I guess it depends how you want to look at it. But it's another in my growing collection of dangerous things I make for a hobby.